Hey everybody, hope you guys are doing well. So Miguel Benitez here. I am just out at the park right now working on a paper, and it is for a historical investigations paper that I'm working on, and just some things that have been kind of going through my mind throughout the day as I worked on the paper some before church, and then working on the paper now as I head into the week. And one of the things that occurred to me today is the weird relationship that sometimes as Christians we can have with the word doubt, right? We oftentimes think of doubt as a bad thing and something that those who are more spiritually mature never experience. And so if you're a good Christian, you wouldn't be doubting. And I remember oftentimes in my undergrad, once people knew that I studied apologetics and that I read up on things and wrestled with the tough questions, I remember I would oftentimes get people that come up to me, and this still happens today sometimes, and they'll start their conversation with me with something like, I'm not doubting or anything, but, and then they would launch into something like the problem of evil, or whether or not we can know Christianity to be true, and those sorts of things. And as I was considering some of that today, throughout the day, I was thinking, one of the things that makes Christianity different from so many of the other religions is that it can be investigated. It's that it can be investigated from a historical perspective, from a philosophical perspective. You see, Christianity, unlike some other religions, is rooted in history. Right? If Jesus never existed, as so many people on YouTube want to tell you, then Christianity is not true, right? We actually have to deal with those claims that say Jesus never existed or was not a historical person. Other religions, if you asked a Buddhist about Siddhartha Gautama, they would tell you it's not a big deal if it ends up being the case that they weren't a historical person, or if Krishna never incarnated into a historical figure, a Hindu is not fazed by that, because their religion isn't rooted in history. It's something that is merely beyond history. It's not about a particular person, but rather about teachings, right? The teachings are what matters. And the teachings in Christianity are obviously important, but primarily from a Christian perspective, the teachings are so important because of a historical person, because of what they communicate to us about a person in history. And so I just want to encourage you, if you're a Christian, don't fear doubt. I think there are some things we can certainly do and work on to help in moments of doubt. So reading the Word, reading the Scriptures is certainly something that oftentimes can help me when having moments of doubt. Prayer, I don't want to underestimate prayer as well. And then thirdly, investigation. Right? I'm a Christian. I have remained a Christian. I am still a Christian today because when I did need to investigate, when I went through a serious time of doubt in my life, I found the evidence and the arguments very persuasive for Christianity. But I think, too, sometimes it's not even necessarily about reading your Bible more or praying more or investigating. Sometimes it's just allowing the doubt to basically kind of work itself out, right? Sometimes we don't have an immediate answer. Sometimes doubts aren't intellectual. Sometimes they're emotional. And so being open to the idea that God's going to work in different ways in our life and deal with doubt differently. I'm sitting outside in nature right now, And I could see how that could even serve people. We're told in Romans that God's invisible attributes are made known to us in creation. And so even sitting outside can sometimes have a certain effect on us that lets us know that God is there. But another thing that I wanted to also point out is that I believe that oftentimes it is after moments of doubt that great moments of faith come. And I think of Thomas, right? The disciple Thomas, sometimes referred to as doubting Thomas. He doubted that he was seeing the resurrected Christ. And when his doubts had been met with evidence, he makes this incredible proclamation of Christ, my Lord and my God, right? Calling Jesus his Lord and God. And I just think, what a shift from a moment of great doubt to a moment of great faith and a great proclamation of faith. And really a proclamation of faith that came at the end of investigation, at the end of evidence, right? And so if you're going through a season of doubt, I think of my own journey, the paper that I'm working on right now, not necessarily tied to doubt or even Christian apologetics for that matter, but it is part of a program. It is part of a PhD program in humanities and philosophy that I would have never even gone into had I not had a biology professor in my undergrad who was very antagonistic towards Christianity and thought that Christianity was a bunch of hocus pocus and a waste of time. Had I not had that professor challenge me years ago, I wouldn't be in the PhD program that I'm in right now, a program that has required great leaps of faith, great moments of challenge and needing to rely and depend on God. And so, like Thomas, don't doubt what God can do with doubt in your life, because oftentimes it's after the moments of doubt that come great moments of faith. So if you're going through some doubt, I hope that this is encouraging to you. If you're watching this, I'd love to hear what are things that encourage you in moments of doubt. So if you'd comment down below, what is it that you do when you're having moments of doubt, and how is it that you kind of work through those moments, and what has the Lord done in your own life after some seasons of doubt? All right, guys, until next time, I hope that you are well, and I look forward to hearing from you down below. Take care.